And then, of course, my rose here, my David Austin rose. Hello and welcome to Catherine's Garden and Home, where we grow, 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 grow together. Well, I have a topic today, which is one of my most favorite topics to talk about at this time of the year, and that is the David Austin roses, and also showing you the David Austin rose catalog that came in. And I've been wanting to share this catalog with you for some time now, but I do have for you the catalog, and it came in the mail. I had seen them advertise it that the catalogs were available in January, and so I signed up and subscribed to it. I went to their website, and there I subscribed for a free catalog. Now, I've been collecting their catalogs over the years, and I just find it such a pleasure to go through and look at what roses are available, and also to see how I can perk up my garden and add either new roses to it, or even just learn a little bit more about this style of roses. My garden is an English style cottage garden. At least that's what I call it. And I believe very strongly in the naturalistic style of gardening, that of Penelope Hobhouse and Gertrude Jekyll. And I like that English style. It's free-flowing, it's open, and it allows the plants to be somewhat its own, just to be natural. And so I really like that style of gardening. And then I came across the David Austin roses, and I really like the way that the roses are shaped, designed, and I've always admired them. David Austin roses stand out because of their old world beauty. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below. Do you have David Austin roses in your garden? If so, leave a comment down below and tell me which ones you have. So let's open it up and take a look at the David Austin catalog. I'm so excited. I really love looking at the different pictures and just seeing what is available. And when you look at this back cover, I just love how in the midst of the garden, the roses are just right there, and they just show up with other perennials that are companions to the rose bushes, and they're all living together naturally and creating a natural beauty. I love that. Let me see if I can open it up together so that you'll get a full look at that. Now, doesn't that look like a beautiful garden bed? I think it's so sweet. Now, the David Austin Rose Company has been around for many, many years. And this is the 27th USA edition, the Handbook of Roses for 2026. And you can see the symbol. So in it, let's look at it because I haven't opened it yet and it's really new to me. So we're going to go through it together. It says behind the rose cover, and it speaks about that here. And let me read what it says here. It says, Olivia Rose Austin, renowned for its large cupped mid-print blooms, has a light to medium fruity fragrance, adding a touch of elegance to any garden. This rose begins flowering exceptionally early in the season and continues to bloom until well into fall, providing long-lasting color and interest. It forms a healthy, well-balanced, medium-sized shrub with dark green foliage that showcases the blooms to their best effect. Ideal for mixed borders, rose hedges, or pots, the rose thrives in full sun or partial shade. It's perfect for gardeners seeking a repeat flowering rose with impressive large blooms. Named after the daughter of David C. Austin and granddaughter of David C. H. Austin, Olivia Rose Austin. And you know, I actually bought this plant, this rose, Olivia Austin. And I have it in my garden. It's been there now for about 2 years. And the first one I had gotten, we had a cold spell and it died back. I had it in a pot and it died back and it never came back. So they have a really great warranty, a 5-year warranty. And so I contacted the company and they sent me back a replacement and I put it in the ground. And with most roses and perennials, especially, it takes time for it to gain, great roots in the ground and that it becomes established. That's the word for it, established. So the first year, I didn't get a lot of blooms, but then the second year, and I believe the third year, last year, I got a lot more blooms. And it is a beautiful rose. It's a beautiful rose, and it's a repeat bloomer. Olivia. And actually, it's been my first David Austin rose bush because it is like an heirloom and it is pricey. I would say that the David Austin roses are like the Cadillacs or maybe the Bentleys of the roses. It has a great heritage and it has also been world renowned. It's an old world beauty. And David Austin roses, these roses were developed by the English rose breeder David C. H. Austin, who had a unique vision to combine the beauty of old-fashioned roses with the replete blooming of modern roses. And here's why they stand out, okay? David Austin roses stand out because of the old world beauty. Their blooms often resemble classic English garden roses with full layered petals. And that is very, very true. And number 2, they're exceptionally fragrant. They have exceptional fragrance, especially Olivia. This one here, it does. It has exceptional fragrance. You could smell it. Many varieties have strong scents ranging from fruity to myrrh to classic rose perfume. And number 3, they have repeat flowering. Unlike many historic roses that bloom only once, these varieties bloom repeatedly throughout the season. And it is so beautiful because the roses that I used to get, they were one-time bloomers. So June was like my month for roses, and they would just bloom and the whole garden would be filled with the smell and the fragrance of roses. But when I started purchasing repeat bloomers, and especially this particular one, the David Austin rose, that I was pleasantly surprised throughout the season to see the roses come back, to get that second, third batch of roses. Number 4, graceful garden form. They grow into beautiful shrub shapes that work well in the borders and for cottage gardens like mine, and also in the landscape. And the 5th reason that we really love a David Austin roses is because it has an extensive breeding program. And decades of breeding have produced hundreds of varieties designed for beauty, for fragrance, and garden performance. Yeah, they don't get disease as easy as some others. That they tend to hold their form. They grow well as long as they become well established and that you feed them. Yeah, there is some maintenance and some care, but overall, it's the beauty of the rose, and it's so delicate. Plus, it is something about having a well-known and famous rose in your garden, at least one. So the first cover, it says here, welcome to our 2026 Handbook of Roses. Isn't that beautiful? That's their garden. This past year has been a time of growth and discovery, both for our roses and for us as gardeners. Isn't that beautiful? And so they have a place where this is a display garden. And this is David C.H. Austin. He was the originator. He passed away about 4 or 5 years ago. I remembered when that happened. And they had a special booklet on him discussing his life. And he talked about sowing seeds, his first shoots, growing pains, coming into bloom and growth and recognition. And then they started to lead the industry in roses. And then they tell you about the David Austin difference here. What makes their roses special? It says, a David Austin rose is a guarantee of unrivaled breeding expertise that retains traditional methods and protects the craftsmanship of hybridizing an English rose. It is a promise of plentiful choice, an unmatched collection of rose bred on a family farm that is still at the heart of the business. And of course, it is the reassurance of a service that you can depend on. Our leading aftercare and advice, along with our 5-year guarantee, means we have you, our customers, at the core of everything we do. And yes, as I said, I had to return, or I had to call them because my rose had disappeared. And they did not give me any hassles. They sent me a rose. I'm going to share with you the difference of a bare root rose versus a potted. And I got a bare root rose, and it looks something like that. Just the roots and the stems. And there is a way that you have to put it together, put it in the ground. And what's the difference? And they said for the spring season, it's January through May, that they would send you and ship you the bare root rose. But we'll talk more about that in future videos. So exploring the directory. I just like looking through this because what happens is that it gives me inspiration when I look at the types of roses, right? They have shrub roses, they have climbers, shrub roses, climbers, they have rambling roses, and they have standard tree rose. And you can find these types of roses in the big box stores. And I'm not knocking them because I have those types of roses in my garden and they've done very well. But even just getting yourself a catalog, you can learn so much from reading up on this information and just having it as a reference for you. And finding the right rose for the right place. I think that's great information there. There's the mixed border, the rose hedge, the pots and containers, partial shade, attracting bees, doorways, walls or fences, obelisks, arches, pergolas, front of the house, very few thorns. Now, some people do not like to grow roses because of the thorns. They're afraid of thorns. Rose hips, cutting and arrangements, and it's really beautiful. Roses and their varied blooms. Now just check out this. Look at the different shapes and size and colors. I think it's just so exciting. There's the button eye, the rosette, the recurving, the incurving, the deep cup, the shallow cup, the open cup, the semi-double, and the single. That's a lot. But it's good to look at and explore. And then you have fragrance. Next, you have fragrant roses. I love fragrance in the garden. In June, in my garden, when I walk through it and the roses are open, it's wonderful because what it does is it just lets me know that we're in a different season, that we're heading to summer. And just the smell of it is just so beautiful. And this is Penelope Lively. And then if you want abundant borders, I do love growing my roses in the border and letting them be a part of the rest of the garden, not just isolating the rose. I like the naturalistic look. I love this idea of the companions. That's how I grow roses. And they give you some information on how to do that. The Radiant Rose Hedge. And then now they're into the different types. Roses for pollinators. Yeah. And I can say for sure that the bees and other insects, they love the roses. They're attracted to them. And you can hear that buzzing sound along with the fragrance of the rose. Smelling the fragrance, hearing the buzzing of the bees, feeling the warmth of the sun. All of that together just makes the garden a special, special place. And here they show you an enchanting cottage garden. I know there must be an easier way to show you all of this, but I hope this is encouraging you to go to their website and get yourself a copy so that you can sit and look at it, especially in those cold, rainy days that you might be still experiencing in your neck of the woods. Gertrude Drico, right here. That's a famous one. And they also recommend the roses for pots, put them in large pots. For some reason, I'm not really one for putting my roses in pots. I think I would prefer to just put it in the ground and allow them to have plenty of room and space. But some people can't. They have a limited amount of space. So putting your roses in pots is a good thing. Look at this rose. And it really looks like this. The roses tend to, just fill out and just have that cabbage patch look. And navigating the shade. There's some roses that can handle dapple shade, but most roses need full sunlight. You can have a formal garden. And it looks good too with that as well. You can have it to welcome people to your home. I love the idea of the rose trailing over the door like that, climbing rose. They have the ramblers. And they have the tree roses. And you can find them too, like in the big box stores, they have tree roses there too. And if you wanted to try that out first before jumping into an expensive David Austin rose. And then the Art of Color Fairy. Look at that. So there's a lot of information here. Playful pinks. There are a lot of pink. And reds and shades of red. And then they have the warm apricots. Isn't that pretty? The yellows. Ooh, that's so gorgeous. And the whites. I really like how they laid out the catalog this year. Beautiful big pictures of the roses, that you get to really see what it looks like. But then the sophisticated modern garden, the modern garden. Wow. And then they give you information for caring for the roses. And this is a year-round guide of how to plant a rose, how to prune a rose, and the rose care region. There's a lot of information, as I said before. Rose care calendar by region. The Southeast, the Southwest, the South Central, Lower Midwest. Let's see. Rose care basics. Rose disease and pests. And this is good to know too, because that may happen in your garden, but there's a way that you can handle it. And usually if you make sure that your soil is rich, that you water your plants, that your plants unstressed, then you will less likely have diseases and pests. And then finally, it gives you the index. So you can look at this and determine which color rose you would like to have. what it looks like and what they have to offer. And that's it. But I recommend getting a copy of this and keeping them and ordering them every season. Roses, especially varieties from David Austin Roses, can reward you with breathtaking blooms, fragrance, and beauty year after year. And my final words, remember that gardening is a journey. Gardening is a journey of patience and learning, and definitely full of joy. Plant something today and watch your garden grow. And thank you so much for being with me here at Catherine's Garden and Home, where we grow, 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 grow together. Thank you for watching and have a good day. Bye. I am so excited about my beautiful hydrangea. Yes, oak leaf hydrangea, beautiful. Oh, it's going to be so gorgeous with the white blooms. So excited about that. And then of course my rose here, my David Austin rose, doing well. Evelyn, she's doing well. Now this plant here, this is forget-me-nots that I had seeded a while back from a pack of Dollar Tree seeds, and it's about to open. Isn't that fantastic? Hello and welcome to Catherine's Garden and Home. I am just so happy to be able to share with you my new David Austin rose. How could I possibly have an English style cottage garden and not at least have one David Austin rose? I really love how this rose looks and how it changes and develops over time with the different stages. You could see the bud form, and then you can also notice when it becomes a little more looser. So with your help and encouragement, I went ahead and I ordered my David Austin rose. Hello, and welcome to Catherine's Garden and Home. It is so good to be here with you today. I hope that all is well with you. Well, I'm so excited because I was able to receive my David Austin rose. Now, David Austin roses are what I've wanted to add to my garden for a very long time, and I would collect their catalogs, which to me looked like a beautiful magazine in which it got me ready for the new season ahead. So in January, February, I would go to their website and I would request the catalog and then look forward to just peering through all of these beautiful English style roses. And when I received the catalog, I was so excited to actually share it with you, my gardening friends. And we looked through and really peered at the different roses and the different ways that we can add them to our garden. Olivia Rose Austin, and it is a beautiful pink rose that has like a cabbage shape to it, and it is just very neat with a lot of really great leaves. I really love how this rose looks and how it changes and develops over time with the different stages. You could see the bud form, and then you can also notice when it becomes a little more looser, and then it finally ends up looking more like a cabbage styled rose there. Very pretty. And this is how it looks as a shrub in the garden. And I was questioning whether I should put the rose directly into the ground or if I should plant it up. And I decided to put it in a pot that I have available. So that is exactly what I did. So I want to take you through the process of planting my bare root rose into a garden pot, and then as the rose grows up, I am hoping that next year that I would find that special spot in my garden to place it. But the advantage that I have with putting the rose in the pot is that I can move it into different areas and see which location is best for it. I've got this package in, and this is the David Austin rose box, breeders of exquisite English roses since 1961. And this has always been a dream of mine, to have a David Austin rose in my garden. And finally this year of 2022 that I was able to actually buy it. Get the courage to get it and buy it, and to now have it in my garden. So it came in this box. It has a planting guide, and it has a certification from Texas Department of Agriculture. It came in the plastic here, and if you're going to plant it, what you have to do is put it in water. So I have it sitting here in water, and at least for 2 to 3 hours you have to let it hydrate. So that is what I am doing. I'm having it sit here in water for this time. And here's the tag. It's English Roses, bred by David Austin Rose, and it gives its information there, where to call if you have a question. And the name of this rose is Olivia Rose Austin. Outstanding variety. Flowers of an even soft pink opening to beautiful cupped rosettes set against dark green foliage. Fruity fragrance, very healthy, and size 4 feet 6 inches to 3 feet 6 inches. So that is a decent size, and I love the idea of it being fruity and pink. And so I'm letting it sit. So this is what it looks like. That's the root system. It has a really good, healthy looking root system. So I'm letting it sit here. I'm not ready to put it in the ground, so I'm going to put it in this pot. And it's a really decent sized pot. I'm going to put it in this pot and have it sit on the deck for this year, and then maybe next year, or when it looks like it's outgrowing the pot, I will then transplant it into the ground. But I have to first figure out where I want to put it. So I've decided to have it close by so I can monitor it and look after it. And since I have that pot available, I'm thinking that it will look good here. Now on the bottom of the pot, I'm going to put this shredded mulch that has a lot of microfungi on it. And you could see the microfungi because it's been sitting for over a year or so, and it's created that. So I'm going to put it on the bottom so that it can hold the moisture in the bottom. And then I have Miracle Grow potting mix, which is fairly light, and I also have the garden soil all purpose for in-ground use. But I'm thinking of mixing it together, more of the potting mix than the garden soil, just in case I don't have enough soil. And then also adding some of this as a sort of light mulch on top to keep the moisture in. And this is the alternative soil with the coconut husks that I got from the Dollar Tree, and it has worked very, very well in seeding my seedlings here for my bottle containers. So for example, in this one I used that alternative soil, and it did a fine job in germinating. And then in this one as well, and this one. So I think this one is the Chasta Daisy, and that's the Snapdragon in there. And in this one is a perennial mix. So I believe that it will be good on top and help to retain the moisture so that the rose bush doesn't dry out, the container doesn't dry out. And that's what I'm going to do. I don't have the David Austin fungi that they have, but I do have garden tone, and I'm also going to put that in the soil as well. And I believe that that has some of that. It's not biotone, but it is garden tone, and I think it does have some for containers, some of that fungi. Anyway, the soil is going to be rich, and I think it will be appropriate for my beautiful rose that I'm going to put in the pot. Because I do not have any David Austin mycorrhizal fungi to get your roses off to the best start by sprinkling their mycorrhizal fungi over the roots, it stimulates root growth and resulting healthier, more plentiful roses. It has naturally been created from these wood chips that have been sitting in my garden in the back since last year around this time. So it's been formulating that mycorrhizome for a while, so it should be all right. I placed inside the bottom the wood chips, and you can see here some of that mycorrhizal fungi here that is developed on the wood chips. And that is what helps the roots of plants to grow. So it's at the bottom here, plus these larger chips of wood will also allow the drainage to happen at the bottom and prevent root rot. I'm going to now layer it with some of the garden soil at the bottom and mix in some of the potting mix as well with it, and put it in about, I would say, about halfway up or a third of the way up. And then we are going to measure it with the plant, with the bare root, and then backfill with some more of the soil. So that is my intention. You can see that the potting soil is much more loamy, much more loose, and I think what I'm going to do is just mix them in a little bit, the two types of soil, so that it's not as heavy at the bottom. So it's more loamy throughout, but yet it'll still have some body to it and some fluff. This looks good. I think the rose is going to be very happy. So what I'm going to do is just kind of create a little well here on the sides, kind of push it up like that, and then sprinkle on the bottom just a light coating of this garden tone, just a light amount there. And now I'm going to test out the rose. It's been sitting here, and I want to just test out the depth. making sure that it's not too deep, but yet it is not too high. So when you're planting it, I want to plant it in about this high up, and but also covering it about to here with soil, about an inch over with soil, and of course leaving the tag on it. So the root joint here is going to be under the soil, and that's a good thing. And then we want to leave like an inch depth here so that the water doesn't splash out, but then also I have room for the mulch as well. So that's how that's going to work out. So I have it in there, and it is in a good depth, and I just want to make sure that it's in firmly, and that the roots are covered. And then now I'm going to just backfill with some more soil here. I'm going to use the potting mix because it's light. And I'm going to see if I can do this with one hand. But just kind of... I finished planting my David Austin rose, Olivia Austin, and she is in the pot. I put her in a good amount of depth there with the potting soil. I also used the alternative soil, the coconut shell husk material as well, and so it's really well aerated, and the loam is light, and it will hold the water. The drainage is good. I tried it out a number of times there with the drainage. As you can see, it's been leaking out at the bottom, so that's really good because I wanted to make sure that there was good drainage in the pot. And so it is ready to go. Already you could see that it has some buds there. And we are going to be getting some more rain tonight, as well as the temperatures are getting warmer next week. We should be in the high 60s. I'm inviting you to come back and join me here at Catherine's Garden and Home, where we grow, grow, grow together. So if you like this video, then like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below. Have you been planting, and do you have roses? And do you like to plant bare root roses, or do you prefer the container roses, or receiving your roses in a container and then transplanting them. Have you ever tried bare root roses? So leave a comment down below, and thank you so much for watching. If you have not subscribed to Catherine's Garden and Home, this is your opportunity to subscribe and join our gardening community where we grow, 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 grow together. And you'll be able to join me here with the singing birds. You can hear them. They're singing in the garden. And also know that I'm in the city, so we have city sounds and we have beautiful garden sounds as well. So come and join me here at Catherine's Garden and Home, where we grow, 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 grow together. Thank you for being with me. See you next time right here at Catherine's Garden and Home. Bye. This is what the flower looks like. Now, isn't that a beautiful rose? I love how it's shaped, and you can see over time how it changes. And this is how it looks as a shrub in the garden. Look at that rose and all of its petals. It's a very prominent, and I love the large flowers. Looks like a happy rose. For more videos, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And thank you so much for watching. See you next time right here in Catherine's Garden. Bye.